Now you say the Most High gave his word to everybody, right?
That bondage you living out right now. That bondage is why you at the bus stop right now.
You understand? The scripture says, any man speak, let him speak of the oracles of God. They think the law is a small thing.
Separate, man. We are separate from these other nations, man.
That's right.
First breath I took, a life too surreal. Second breath I took was the pivot and strike, finish the kill. Influence.
You good to go? I'm looking on the sound. Do a sound check. If you could, Baba Kushah. Check Facebook. I think we live on Facebook. You see it up there?
Facebook, that I'm about to check YouTube.
You check both pages. Sound good? All right, Most High Christ. Shalom, Israel. It's the ISUPK coming out of 1 West Harlem, New York, under 25th Street, under Commander Junior Hunter. We're rocking out this truth since 1969, waking the blacks, Hispanics, and natives people to their true identity according to the Bible. If you could, watch it, hit the off button on there. I appreciate it, brother. All right. Our culture, blacks, Hispanics, and natives people, you know, our culture, our identity, who we are is in the Bible, all right here in the Bible. So don't ever, you know, get it twisted or think that you are Caucasian, because everything you do today comes from another culture. I don't know if you know it or not. Dreadlocks and smoking weed comes from East Indians. You understand? Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving and killing each other and hating your brother, that comes from Caucasians. Your culture and your laws directly go against that, and that's what we do here in the Israelite School, the Universal and Practical Knowledge. We get down to business and show blacks, Hispanics, and natives people who they are, where they come from, and what they should be doing on the earth. All right. Today we are in the fourth day of the Feast of Dedication. Is the fourth day or the third day? I believe it's the fourth day of the Feast of Dedication. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up for the Lord for that, man. All right. It's our feast days right there. We keep the Feast of Dedication and not no damn Christmas. Christmas is pagan. All right. Christmas is evil. And we're going to break that down tonight. All right. So what page is this I'm looking at, brother?
This is the Restream page with all the websites.
Okay, I see a sister named Robin Douglas. Where is this located? Today, this is the mandatory scripture breakdown class for Michigan and Northeast Ohio. And our location right now, we in the school in Detroit, 12355 Gratiot Ave on the east side. All right. Come through if you in the area. All right, like and share the class. Get this truth out to everybody you know. All right, any questions you got, anything you need to know, you type it in, DM me, do whatever you got to do to get those questions answered. All right, call that number on the screen if you want to be a part of the school. Start your 90-day process. Get you a Hebrew name. Come lock in with your brothers and sisters, man. If you in this class, you might know a little something about the truth, and there's nothing better than being around like-minded people. All right, you know you're an Israelite and you're supposed to keep the laws. Don't hang around a bunch of Christians. That's gonna make you not want to be who you supposed to be. They're gonna try to shame you. You understand? And make you feel bad. All right, come up in here and get around your brothers and sisters and get strong in the truth. All right, so again, it's 12355 Gratiot Ave in Detroit, Michigan. All right. Questions or comments, like I said, in the room, y'all know what to do. Just raise your hand. Online, just type it in, DM me, do whatever you got to do. Check all the pages and make sure we good to go. Shalom, Yahweh Ba'Shemel, Shabbarakatah to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Ilatab, Ba'Shem Yahweh to all the sisters. All right. So like I said, man, we got kind of a longer breakdown today. So we just gonna jump right into it. All right. Once again, it's the 4th day of the Feast of Dedication. I believe this is an 8-day feast. You understand? And it don't get no better than that. You understand? You in the world, your oppressor gives you 1 day off of work and he make you get right back to work like a good old slave. The Lord knows that we like to party. So he gave us, you hear me watching? So he gave us 8 days to party, man, and feast. This is a feast day. You understand? Bring the food, bring the strong drinks, and get it in with your brothers and sisters, man. All right? You should be teaching everybody in your family, you know, that's if they Black, Hispanic, and Native people, who they are, where they come from, and what days to keep. A lot of times when you come into the truth, you would think, man, damn, you taking away Christmas and Thanksgiving. So what do I do? What can I celebrate? Well, it's the Feast of Dedication. It's the Passover. It's Purim. The Lord gave us days in Leviticus 23rd chapter. Where's Purim at? In the book of Esther? You understand? This all through the Bible where the Lord gave you your own days. You don't have to be like the Caucasian man. Why the hell would you want to do anything that he taught you to do when this man has abused and molested our people and enslaved us and robbed us for years? I don't want to do nothing he do. And thanks to the Lord, we don't have to. All right, so remember that Feast of Dedication. When's the closing, man? Look on the calendar. When's the closing? Is it on this Saturday or this Sunday? It started on Saturday, so it should be on Sunday. Good night. Look how the Lord do. Won't he do it? So anybody that was ever missing some funky Christmas, guess what? The closing is on this Sunday, man. So come on down here with your brothers and sisters, man. If you're in the Northeast Ohio area, Cleveland, Akron, Toledo, Canton, all those different zones, man, come on through, man. Sandusky, come through and get some good food, man, and chill with your brothers and sisters. If you're in the D, if you're in Michigan, Flint, you know what I'm saying, Lansing, all those different zones, Jackson, you know what I'm saying, come through and get some good food, man. Eat with your brother, party with your brothers, man, and see what it's like to serve the Lord in righteousness and still have fun. That's what we do here. All right, so let's get to the topics, man, because we got some long breakdowns today. All right, so the first one we're going to get into is regeneration. All right, a brother asked me, what is our stance on death? All right, we missed it last week, man. We had so many questions, so this week we ain't even going to go into that. We'll get the questions last, so type your questions in, and when we get done, we'll get those questions. If not, then we'll answer them next week. But a brother asked me, what's our stance on death? Do we say rest in peace in here? Do anybody know where rest in peace come from? Okay, rest in peace comes from the early Catholic Church, all right? And that's what they would say to their little funky saints or whoever they call the saint. But we know in the truth that a saint is what? Is us. You know what I'm saying? So that's where rest in peace comes from. And here we say rise again. And why do we say that? Who can answer that? Go ahead, Yashmaya.
Like, so we say that because everything on the earth is on the cycle. So when you die, you come back as a new person.
That's heavy. And that's why we say it, because everything in here is on the cycle. Let me hear that scripture. It's in Ecclesiastes, the 1st chapter. Everything is on a cycle. So your mama died, your grandma died, whoever died in your family that you love, yeah, you mourn them properly. The scriptures say, a wise man mourn for 7 days, but a fool all the rest of his life, paraphrases. All right. And in the world, what they'll do? They put the teddy bears up where Lil J got shot at for being a drug dealer. And you know what I'm saying? And you mourn Lil Pookie forever. You put a shrine up in your house and put the blunt up to his picture like a fool. You pour out the liquor and put a cup right by Pookie's head. Every day, every year he got shot. You understand? But in the truth, we understand that has nothing to do with the Bible, man. You understand? In the truth, we understand that when you die, you come back on the earth. You've been here before, because everything is on a cycle. I believe it's Ecclesiastes. You can start at 4. You got your hand raised? What's up?
It's like, I thought it was 3 to 1.
No, you start at 1. Ecclesiastes, the 1st chapter, I believe. And then we're going to skip to like 3. All right, so let me hear... 3 and 4. Start at 4 for time's sake. Now, ordinarily, I break all this down starting at the first verse, but let's start at 4 for time's sake. We might go a little bit over because we started late today. Go ahead. Come on, brother, where you at?
It's like Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. Verse 5, the sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and has it to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the sun, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth around
continually, and the wind returneth again according to its circuits. All right, if you could, brother, lift up your voice a little bit. I appreciate it.
All the rivers run into the sea.
Read that last part again.
Verse 6.
Yeah, so start with 5.
Con. Ecclesiastes 1 and 5. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and has it to its place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth around about continually, and the wind returneth again according to its circuits.
Mm-hmm.
All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place whence the rivers come, thither they return again.
Mm-hmm.
All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing.
That's heavy, man. That's heavy. You understand? Read that last verse.
Verse 8, all things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing.
Go ahead.
Verse 9, the thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done.
Read it again. The thing that have been. Read it again.
The thing that have been, it is that which shall be.
The thing that have been, it is that which shall be. Go ahead.
And that which is done is that which shall be done.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
Okay, so everything we just read, who could break that down? What we talking about? So we're touching on the sun, the wind, the rivers running to the sea. That one was heavy for me, because I used to always think about that, man. I go when it rain, it don't never just overflow and overtake everything. You know what I'm saying? We live by the Detroit River. How come we still even have a downtown? So it says the wind, the sun, the rivers. What are we talking about here? You already said it, brother. Go ahead.
It's like out of earth, everything on the earth is on a cycle.
There you go. That's what we're talking about. So the brother's initial question was, how do we deal with death? What do we say about death? Do we say rest in peace? So I told the brother, no, we don't say rest in peace. We say rise again. And this is why. Because of what?
Everything on the earth is on a cycle.
Because everything on the earth is on a cycle. So read 9 again. Let me hear 9. My nigga knocked his eye. I'm sure with that. What's up, mighty man?
What's going on, sir? How you doing?
Anything too wild, brother?
Ecclesiastes 1
right.
and 9.
Lord and
The
Christ.
thing that I've been, it is that which shall be,
Mm-hmm.
and that which is done is that which shall be. And there
The
is
thing
no
that
delay.
hath been, it is that which shall be. Go ahead.
It is that which
And-
shall be,
Mm-hmm.
and that which is done is that which shall be done.
That which is done. Wait, and that which is done is that which shall be done. You got your hand raised? Go ahead, brother.
Like it's saying that which is done, meaning the past.
Mm-hmm.
That which is done is that which shall be done, meaning the past is going to shall be done, meaning it's going to happen again.
Right.
That which is done is that which shall be done. The thing that already happened in the past is going to happen again.
Right. Keep going.
And then it says, and that which is, all right.
Keep going from there. Get
That
a
which is
So I
done
get 5
is
stacks.
that which shall be done.
Get a brother back to Mike. Let the young man read. Go ahead.
You want me to start at verse 9?
Yeah, keep going where he left off at. Don't you a young man? Let the brother just rest for a minute. You feel me? He put in his work. You read.
And that which is done is that which shall be done.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
Read it again.
And that there is no new thing under the sun.
There is no new thing under the sun. You understand? So we are all on a cycle. The wind cometh and go. The sun go up and down. What else we talk about? The rivers. All right. We all on a cycle. Everything is on a cycle. So if you see the sun going up and down, you see the wind going and coming, what make you think that you're not on that same cycle? I appreciate it, brother. The water. All right. So that's death. That's life and that's death. All right. Everybody has been here before and we're all coming back again. Like I always told my sons, man, you my granddaddy, man. You my great granddaddy. You feel me? And you must have did something right because you coming back in the truth. That's heavy. Look at Natazab's son here today. You understand? Did you know you was his great granddaddy? You ain't never even thought about it. You feel me? For real. That's the cycle of life right here. That's what we're reading about. Keep going.
Verse 10. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new.
Is that what?
See, this is new.
Can you say, read that part again, the first part.
Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new?
Mm-hmm.
It have been already of old time, which was before us.
You can't say nothing on the earth is new. Nobody is new. Can you say that? You can't say that. Because we all been here before. It's all a cycle. You understand? Go ahead.
There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after.
And this is why you don't remember your former life. Because the Lord said what? There is no remembrance of former things. All right?
Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after.
Okay. Let's go to the 3rd chapter.
Three and one, check this out.
Go ahead, brother. You got all the mics cut on?
Yeah.
Is that mic on? You know, a lot of times they can't hear the audience. Because that mic don't be cut on.
Alright, that can.
Alright, so you want me to start at verse 1?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, this is Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
I remember we was talking about that thing in verse 8 or 9. All right, so now we're back on that thing. Keep going.
A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh.
Good.
A time to mourn and a time to dance.
So like it. Skip down to where it says that thing is man.
I think that's 6 and 10.
That's 6 and 10. Let me hear that for time's sake.
I'll bring it up.
Yeah, go ahead. You got the mic.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 10. And that which had...
All right, so wait. Go back to the first chapter. What was it, 1 and 8?
That part in a different chapter. Where you talking about the man part.
Yeah, it's in the 6th chapter. Brother got it. I just looked at it.
So, you want 1 and
9.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
So that thing that has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. There is no new thing under the sun. Let me hear that verse you got. Right there.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 10. That which hath been is named already.
That which have been, that's what we just talked about in the first chapter. That thing that have been. All right, so go ahead.
Is named already.
Mm-hmm.
And it is known that it is man.
And it's known that it is what?
Man.
It's man. So that's that thing that's not new under the sun. That's the thing that it's talking about in the first chapter. All right, keep going.
Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than him.
All right, neither may you go against what the Lord said would happen. You can't contend with the Lord. What he said is going on, and what's going to happen is what's going to happen. And nobody really care about how you feel. All right, so we're all on the cycle on the earth. That's why we don't say rest in peace. Let me see. I'll pull out another verse for the brother, and then we'll move on to Christmas. Go ahead.
They got some in Ecclesiastes, the 22nd chapter.
Go ahead. Let me hear it. We just, right here, we're going to try to breeze through it. Because that Christmas breakdown long as hell. So, go ahead.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 22, and verse 11. Weep for the dead, for ye have lost the light. And weep for the fool, for he wanted understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest. But the life of the fool is worse than death.
Yeah, that is heavy. The life of the what? Read it again, brother.
Come. Weep for the dead, for he have lost the light. And weep for the fool, for he wanted understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest.
Mm-hmm.
But the life of the fool is worse than death.
It's worse than the death because he don't know what the hell going on. You know what I'm saying? Kodash, go ahead.
It seems like they're talking about 2 types of dead people and 2 types of foolish people. Because the first one, it says weep for the dead, meaning like a spiritually dead person because he lost the light. And weep for the fool because he wanted understanding, but he was a fool, but he wanted understanding. And then it says make little weeping. Hold on, where's my phone just? It says make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest, meaning make little weeping for an actual dead person that's in a casket because he is resting. You're not going to wake him up. Tupac is dead.
This not really a regeneration scripture,
Right.
but it's talking about like two different people. It's a man that knows what's going on, and it's a man that doesn't. You understand? Rock out. Go ahead, brother.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter
Help
14.
the sister out if you could. Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 35.
Mm-hmm.
For after death shall judgment come,
That's a good one.
when we shall live again.
All right. After death shall the judgment come, where we shall do what?
Live again.
We shall live again. So that's on topic with what we're talking about. When you die, you come back on the earth. A lot of people in the world think when you die, it's just nothingness, and they teach you YOLO. You only live once, so go jump out of an airplane, idiot. You know what I'm saying? That's not life. You understand? After death comes what?
After death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again.
We shall live again. Now, is that it on that verse? Keep going.
This is one. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
All right. Now, it is another scripture that says judgment is here on earth. You know what I'm saying? The place of righteousness and hell or whatever it says is right here under the sun. Let me hear that one. Somebody else give me Psalms 104:29. Who got the mic over there? Give me Psalms 104. This is one of the reasons I came into the truth. I ain't even gonna front. You know what I'm saying? When I first came into the truth, I was dealing with a lot of death. And I wanted to know why people die, where they go, what happened when you die. Every question you got can be answered right here in the Bible. A lot of people don't know that because we come from the Christian church, the Catholic church, Jehovah's Witness, and all this goofy nonsense. And they don't tell you what the Bible is really about. This is not a religious book, man. This ain't no book where you just go and you sing and dance and hold hands. No, this is knowledge right here for you. So I went and I got this book, man, and I came up under Command of General Yohana, and I got all my questions answered. So it's the same thing for all of y'all, man. Any questions y'all dealing with, just raise your hand, man. Write some questions down if you ain't in class. Text me or do whatever you got to do. And we going to answer all your questions in here. All right? Where you at? Psalms 104? Let me hear that. Somebody pull Psalms 104.
Did you want Ecclesiastes 3?
Yeah, go ahead. You just for the precept.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16.
Is it on? You
and
good?
Moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
So the place of judgment is right here. When you die, you coming right back. That's like, it's not funny, but it's funny to me. When you die, you come right back, man, and you gonna have to deal with that horrible lifestyle that you was doing when you was on the earth previously. You understand? It's a scripture in Matthew. We're gonna pull it last. But the disciples asked Christ, why was this man born blind? They knew something that the Christian church never taught you. They knew that you could get punished for living a horrible lifestyle, and you're going to come back crippled or something. You're going to come back, blind. And that's why they asked Christ that question, like, who did sin that this man was born blind? All right, so let me hear Psalms 104 so we can keep it moving. Go ahead. You got it?
No. Well, yeah, I do got it.
All right, come on, brother. 29.
29?
Yeah, the what?
Psalms 104, verse 29. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die and return to their dust.
All right, so it says, thou hidest thy face if they are troubled. What's that talking about? Zerak, go ahead.
This is talking about when the Lord take his protection away from you.
That's heavy, God. When the Lord takes his face from you, you in trouble. You better do some heavy repenting, man. You feel me? And change your life. Because when the Lord hides his face from you, and why would he hide his face from us? Zerak, go ahead.
because we utterly sinning and going against his laws, statutes, and commandments.
Because we sin. No, just you got something? You good? All right. Because we sin against God. Because we celebrate Christmas and birthdays. And we worship other gods. And we do whatever we want to do and call ourselves a God. So he turned his face from us. And that's when you go into slavery. That's when you die. That's when Pookie get killed.
Right.
Because the Lord hid his face from the brother. Because all he did was sin his whole life. You got your hand raised? Go ahead.
Kind of one concept. If I make shot, like what you're saying is so heavy and on point, because people in the world, because they grew up in America and they institutionalized in America, like Christmas.
That was strong. All good? You good? All right,
like
go ahead.
Christmas is like one of the worst times of the year. It's like where the death toll just goes nuts. You know what I mean? Like my cousin, he just had to bury his, not only he had to bury his brother this week, he had to bury his granddaddy.
Damn.
You know what I mean? He ain't thinking about no Christmas.
Well, hold on, man. His granddaddy was old. He probably just died because he was just old as hell. You know what I'm saying? That don't really count. How old was his cousin, though? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because we not supposed to die young.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you die when you're a teenager or, you know, even in your 40s, man, you're not supposed to die that young. But if you're an old man sitting in the rocket chair, man, you had a good life.
Right.
You know, it just is what it is at that point. All right, so for time's sake, go ahead. Where we was at, 29?
Kind of on
Just start at the top. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Though thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die.
And they die when the Lord hide his face from you. You in trouble. And he takes your breath and you die. Go ahead.
And return to their dust.
Go ahead.
Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth.
That's a cycle, man. That's a cycle of life that we on. All right, so after the Lord kills you, thou sendest forth his spirit, thy spirit, they are created again, and thou renewest the face of the earth. That's how life is. All right, so every baby that's born has been here before. It's biblical. Go ahead, Kodash.
We got two questions on the internet. One of them is Barack Yash. He said, I wanted to know why the serpent was judged to be on his belly if he was a man.
Okay, so just for time's sake, we're not going to pull no scriptures because we got a long breakdown. But it said, why was he to be on his belly if he was a man? That's basically talking about him living a low-down life. You understand? And if you look at your oppressor today, how does he live? He is a grimy nigga. You know what I'm saying? Everything he does is just some snaky type, underhanded. You know what I'm saying? It's just disgusting. Look at his lifestyle. All right. So if you don't know, the serpent has a spirit. What was the spirit of the oppressor today? All right. So look at the oppressor today, and you think how he lives, and see is he an upright man that lives righteously? He is not. All right, go ahead, Kodash.
And then, like the characteristics of a snake moved left and then he moved right, all so he could move straight ahead. So what that's saying is he gonna be deceiving. He gonna do good and bad and this and that so that he could deceive his way to the top.
Hey, Salaki, open this for me if you could.
That's how he lived life, low down. You think he one way, but he another way. You know?
And that's what that's talking about. What does it say? Judge, what do you ask? Judge to be on his belly if he was a man. That's all that's talking about. Just a low down life, a disgusting life. You understand? All right, so the water. Where we at? For time's sake, we went over the cycle of life. That's why we don't say rest in peace. We say rise again because we know that every man is gonna come back on this earth. He's been here before. Kodash, go ahead.
One more question. This is a Haba one. He says, with us being in the truth, did we die? In the truth, our past life?
All right, let me see.
I asked because I was born to parents not in the truth.
He basically asking, were we in the truth in the past?
Okay, who can answer that?
I got it.
No,
Go
go ahead.
Luke 1
Select
and
it.
60.
Select it. Go ahead, Zerat.
Hachaanakah, sir. Luke 1 and 68.
What you got? Let me hear. Y'all niggas pulling the same scriptures? No sweat. Y'all be around each other too much. That ain't what I want to hear though, but let me hear.
Hachaanakah. This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, and verse 69. And have raised up an horn of salvation for us in the
Yeah, I
house
don't
of
wanna
his
hear that.
servant David.
It was a horn of salvation for us. Who is the horn of salvation?
Christ.
That's who that is. That's talking about Christ. Let me hear 1 Corinthians 14 and 32. The brother asks what? Read his question again. Say it again. Who got the mic? Read the question.
It said, with us being in the truth, did we die in the truth? Our past life, I asked because I was born to parents not in the truth.
All right. Well, you saying a lot about yourself, nigga. Salaki. Your past life. But what happened was you made it in here. All right. Anybody that's in this class, in the truth today, has already done it. Y'all been here before. Remember what we talked about last week. The Lord said, you didn't choose me, I chose you. The scriptures say, I knew you before you were in the womb. So that baby that, you know, your mother carried for 9 months, your father already had in his, you know, loins, the Lord put that spirit on that baby, you feel me, to be who they are today. So let me hear that scripture.
I got it. So here's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a priest unto the nation.
Oh, why you here today, Abuwan? Because the Lord knew you and he put you here. You understand? He ordained you to be a priest. Give me 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, though. That's what I call it. Yeah, let me hear it, brother.
Okay.
What you got?
So, this is Baruch chapter 2 and verse 30. And it reads, for I knew they will not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves. So
That's heavy too, but that's not answering this question.
no, but I'm saying, like, if you gotta remember that you're an Israelite and being the truth, that there is no way that you were in the truth before.
What you mean?
Like it said, basically you have to go. It's basically a prophecy saying you have to go and we have to remember ourselves in the land of captivity. So.
All right, so read it again. I'll help you out.
It says, let me see. For I knew they will not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people.
Right.
But in the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves.
Now think about how many people that knew they were slaves or forefathers were slaves, and they still don't get the truth when we tell it to them. We bringing them history books, facts, Bible verses, and they still won't hear you. You feel me? The Lord chose who he wanted to. Those that, what did it say? My sheep will hear my voice. So what the brother is asking is, you know, read it one more time, just for everybody so they can hear it, Kodash. Read his question.
It says, with us being in the truth, did we die in the truth?
Now give me the scripture I asked for.
Our past life.
1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, man.
14 and verse, sir?
I think it's like 32. Yeah, 32.
Come on.
Go ahead.
It's 1 Corinthians 14 and 32. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
What does that mean? Go ahead.
Not everybody is meant to hear the voice of the Lord. So, like, if you was a prophet in your past life, you're going to come back on earth to be a prophet.
Yeah, the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. If you was in the truth before, the Lord is going to make sure you find your way back into the truth today. All of y'all was serving the Lord back in the day. You feel me? And that's why it's easy for you to do it today. Some brothers can't come to camp. It's too hard for them. They always got something else to do, right? It's hearing the Lord, even for the sisters, the same thing. A brother call these sisters into the truth, man. You know the world caters to beautiful women. It's a bunch of things that they could be doing, but then they hear the scriptures and they may understand it or just want to know more because they was doing it before. We was all doing it before. You understand? So the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Brother, if you was in the truth in your past life, you're going to be in the truth today, Habawan. That's why I know who you are. I would not know you if you wasn't a prophet back in the day. All right? Yashaban, go ahead.
So, you know that topic we started off with, the idolatry and the rest of peace and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, wouldn't wisdom of Solomon 14 and 27 go with like?
I wouldn't call that idolatry, first of all. All right, idolatry is serving another god, and that's what we're gonna talk about later. So that's Christmas, that's birthdays, that's Easter. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
So like I was talking about like the teddy bear aspect of it, like them like devoting
worshiping the dead.
Yeah.
Okay, kind. And you said what now?
I was just asking when wisdom of Solomon go with that.
Wisdom of Solomon is
14.
when it's talking about the dead man coming back and how he got worship. That's more or less going into the next topic as well. You know what I'm saying? But that is a heavy chapter, and that's a good pull for you to have. Matter of fact, just hold it, because we're going to pull it later. Because that's why you celebrate Christmas today. And that's why we have a Martin Luther King Day, even though he didn't do nothing for black people. Salagi. Martin Luther King was famous because he wanted to date white women. And he got caught on tape having sex with 2 white prostitutes. You understand? But today we worship him like he did something special for us. And it's all because he was a famous man that died too soon. And that's what the 14th chapter of Wisdom of Solomon is talking about. All right, so let me hear Matthew, man, when the disciples asked about the blind man. Y'all know where that's at? Let me know if y'all need help. And then we'll move to the next topic. So I hope that answered your question, Abba. You here today because you was here yesterday. And that's what we was talking about so far as everything being on the cycle. There's nothing new under the sun, brother. All right? Who got that scripture? Y'all want me to help you?
John 9:1.
Let me hear it.
Come. This is the book of John, chapter 9, and verse 1. And as Jesus passed by,
Call me Yahushua if you could, brother.
and as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth.
Mm-hmm.
And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin?
Who did sin? Because they saw a blind man, and they like, what the hell is going on with this brother? Why is he blind? Go ahead.
This man or his parents?
Who sinned, his man or his parents? Now, why is they asking that? It's because of the verses we just read. The New Testament lines up perfectly with the Old. Christ and the disciples never taught their own doctrine. They read strictly from the Old Testament. That's what they knew. The Christian church has been lying to our people and telling us that the Old Testament is done away with. Because they want this to be a religious book where you just hoop and holler and dance in the church and sing Kirk Franklin all day. You know, this ain't that though. All right. They asked, why is this man blind? They was coming to Christ with real questions like we do here in the truth. Go ahead.
That he was born blind.
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua answered, neither.
They said, who did sin? Because they know if you sin in your previous life, you could come back blind. You could come back and you can't hear. You could come back with the little arm. You could, Salaki. you could come back messed up, huh? For real. I went to school with his sister had a little leg. She was fine as hell with a little bitty leg though. Who did sin and made her come back with a little leg? And that's what they was asking. Go ahead.
Yahushua answered, neither had this man sinned nor his parents.
It wasn't nothing this time, but usually it's because one of you niggas was clowning in your previous life, and the Lord dealt with you like the brother read. That judgment is under the sun. What is under the sun? On the earth today. That's what's under the sun. When you die, you don't float off in the sky and get some goddamn wings and float around. You don't shoot people in the butt like Cupid when you die. You understand? When you die, your spirit goes up to the Lord. He judges you and he sends you back down in a new body. Lord willing, you have all your healthy fingers and toes and ears and eyes. But if you was a horrible nigga, you might be born blind. And that's what the Bible is teaching us. This is a history book, man. This is real life what we read. All right, keep going.
Nor his parents.
It wasn't him or his parents. Go ahead.
But that the works of God should be made manifest in him.
All right, so this in particular brother was born blind so that he could see Christ and Christ could show people who he was by healing this man. And later on in the chapter, you'll read that I believe Christ spit on the mud and put the mud on his eyes, and then the brother could see. You understand? Christ also rose the dead, Lazarus. You understand? Certain things was done in the Bible just so Christ could show that he was who he was, all right? But the disciples knew about regeneration, or what they call reincarnation. Now, that don't mean you're going to come back as a butterfly or something goofy like that. You ain't coming back as no cat. I used to think that when I was little, man. Like a cat would always follow me or something. I'd be like, that's my little cousin Debo. That wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Debo is not your little cousin cat, man, all right? That's not what's going on, all right? A cat soul is, they don't have like what we got, where we could choose to sin or whatnot. You understand? They just go off of what their instincts is. What does the scripture say? We got bodies celestial and bodies terrestrial. You understand? So our spirit only is going to be us. If you died and you was a Judite, you're not going to come back as a white man. All right? You're going to come back as who you were continually. You're going to keep coming back in your same family. That's why I raise my sons in the truth.
Right.
You understand? And I teach them the right way because I'm going to come back through them.
Right.
You understand? Your mama going to come back through them. You got your hand raised, brother? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I just had a quick question. So, I'm aware that we all, come back to the same lineage, but like, we come back like as the same gender, like, you know what I mean?
Brother, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not coming back as no woman. Do you want to come back as a woman? Is that what you're saying? You trying to tell me something tonight? Because I ain't going for it. No. You know what I'm saying? You're going to come back as me again. You feel me? That's how we come back. We're going to come back like, in the scriptures, it'll tell you, if we had enough time, I'll go through the whole thing, but I'll paraphrase it. It'll tell you that John the Baptist was Elijah the prophet.
Right.
He came back the same mighty man. Elijah came back as John. The same mighty man. Christ appeared on the earth 5 times. You understand? He never came back as no woman.
Right.
You got something not to say?
It's like I was going to make that same point.
God. So that's just how it is. You're not going to come back as a woman if you was not a woman. You're not going to come back as a cat or a dog. You're going to come back as you. All right? You're just going to have a different body. So that's the scriptures. That's why we don't say rest in peace. Because when you die, you still live on. You live again. And this is a scripture that says that when you die, you live again. Kodash, go ahead.
That's another thing, like, you are the seed of your father, so if somebody was to come back as a woman, their race could be switched through slavery or something.
I'm not talking to you, Kodash. I'm not even about to mess with you tonight. Listen, we don't have enough time to even go off into that. I don't know what you talk about. All right, so questions. We good? We good on the questions, Op?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, check all the pages. You good? Okay, Christmas. Let's get off into that. All right. Let's start with Nimrod. How about that? Start with Nimrod. Give me the birth of Nimrod and who he was in Genesis. It's the 10th or the 11th chapter. For time's sake, let's just keep it moving. So, all religions on the earth today come from this time period, and that was the first civilization that was recorded on the earth after the flood, which was Sumer, if I'm saying it right. Mesopotamia, the land between two rivers, is a Greek word. Babylon, all right? Everything that you keep today, Salaki, not us, but all religions come from this. Zarak, you got something? Let me hear it. So we're going to touch on this, and then we'll read. I'm going to text y'all this, too. All right.
Come. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10, and verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. Verse 9. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
All right, so Cush begat Nimrod, and it says he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. I want to break that down. Mighty hunter before the Lord. Rock, go ahead.
I could, sir. Nimrod was a killer. Basically. Killing everything on the earth.
It's a little deeper than that. Yashman, go ahead.
So the mighty hunter before the Lord, meaning like Nimrod was a hunter that went against the Lord. Like he was opposed to what the Lord was doing.
He was at odds with the Lord. So it's a little bit of both. You know, he was a mighty hunter, so could nobody really deal with him. You feel me? He did his thing on the earth. Think about Shaq with a spear in his hand. You know what I'm saying? Think about something like that. Like, he's a mighty hunter, and he ruled over people. You understand? He took charge of the earth at that time, and when he ruled, it was against God. All right, so keep going.
Verse 10, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel.
The beginning of his kingdom was what?
Babel.
All right, they called it Babel because that's the land where the Lord divided their languages. We speak English and French and Spanish and Hebrew and all these different languages because of this time period. They got together and they all chose to go against the Lord because of Nimrod and his one world religion. You understand? Where everybody come together, they all do the same thing, say the same thing, and it was all against God. So the Lord came down at this time and confused the languages. Go ahead.
And Erech, and Akkad.
And Akkad means one. I know a lot of y'all know that already because of the mighty captain of 13,000 that we have. Akkad means one. All right. And he ruled over a land that means one. What does that mean? He wanted everybody to be one. That's what America teaches today, right?
Right.
You got to call yourself an American. I don't care where you come from, what religion or God you serve. When you get here, you got to speak the King's English, and you got to be one with America. Joe Biden, and whoever the president is, and Christianity, and you got to love everybody. So he was over Akkad, which means one. Go ahead.
And Calnah, in the land of Shinar.
In the land of Shinar. Keep going.
Out of that land went forth Ashur and builded Nineveh and the city.
Ashur is also a god. All right, it's an ancient Mesopotamian god. Keep going.
And Calah, verse 12. And Rasan between Nineveh and Calah, the same as a great city.
All right, is that it on that?
That's it on that as far as his birth, sir. It names all the other cities, basically.
No sweat. Let me give you this. This real fast. Okay, so Nimrod, I'll just sum it up for you, but we're going to read it right here. Nimrod is your Christmas. Now, what happened was through time, because this was the first religion, first city. A city is a place where you can go and get all your goods from. So if it's not a city, what is it? It's like a country, and you got to go get your own water, grow your own crops, blah, 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 blah. This is the first civilization where you could go, and it's like the first goddamn Walmart. Everybody is selling different goods. You can go. This is a civilization or a city. All right. So from this first city came the first religion, and it just got passed down through different generations, different captivities, different nationalities, and they all had the same God, which was Nimrod. Now we're gonna read how Nimrod became who he is today. Did you get that, brother?
I got you.
Go ahead, read that. That last, not the first one I sent you.
The Nimrod tree?
Yeah, let me hear that.
Right. Christmas, the pagan deception. The Nimrod tree. The Lord of Christmas. Nimrod.
It
Lord
said
of Christmas.
Nimrod is the Lord of Christmas. Today, you think Christmas is about gathering with your family and you know, loving everybody, and man, it's horrible. It's horrible today. If you don't celebrate Christmas, you are a bad parent. Did y'all know that? According to America. You could tell somebody that you don't celebrate Christmas and it's pagan, and they gonna say, at least did you get a kid some gifts? Yeah, nigga, all year. Did you see they feet? They toes not on the ground right? That mean I've been taking care of them. But America makes it a law. Even though it's not written in stone and you won't get arrested, it's a law if you don't celebrate Christmas around this time. And it's so horrible for people like us. Especially me going in and out of people's houses at my slavery. All I see is Christmas trees and wreaths and Christmas lights. Niggas putting lights. Niggas risking their life, man. Putting lights up on their roof. You know what I'm saying? It is crazy. So we're going to read about the tree or Nimrod, the Christmas god. You got something, brother? Let me hear it.
Oh, yeah, it's like, sir. I was just going to say this indirect control.
What you mean? Yeah, informal control is what you mean. And that's where they make it a law. You are outcast today. But what about the Feast of Dedication? We light these 7 candlesticks and nobody even knows why. Because this world has completely outlawed the laws of God. And they pushed in the same things that they've been doing since Nimrod. And that's what we're reading about. Go ahead.
God. Nimrod started the great organized worldly apostasy from God that has dominated this world until now. Nimrod married his own mother, whose name was Hachaanakah.
And what type of person are you if you follow somebody like this?
Right.
He married his own mother and had a baby with his mama. Imagine what that baby looked like. That's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Good night. Go ahead.
God. After Nimrod's death,
Listen now, we just read about Nimrod in the Bible. So you know the Bible is a history book. This ain't something we made up. It's in Genesis. What chapter was you at?
10th chapter.
The 10th chapter. You can read about the same man who started Christmas. Go ahead.
After Nimrod's death, his so-called
Mother wife, good night. Just say disgusting. Go ahead.
Hachaanakah propagated the evil doctrine of the survival of Nimrod as a big spirit being.
As a spirit being. So Hachaanakah propagated the evil doctrine of the survival of Nimrod as a spirit being. All right. So he died, and then his mother/wife came up with the story that he lived on. All right. But how did he live on? Go ahead.
She claimed a full-grown evergreen tree sprang overnight from a dead tree stump.
None of these people got out of elementary school if they believe this. You know what I'm saying? They said that Nimrod came back to life as what?
As an evergreen.
As an evergreen tree. Why'd they pick that tree? Who knows? Kodash, let me hear it. Mike, go ahead.
Because they had a superstition about the evergreen tree because it lives all year round.
That's why.
They thinking that Nimrod is just going to live forever.
That's why. The evergreen tree doesn't die. So even in the wintertime, when all other trees shed their leaves, the evergreen tree is still going strong. All right, go ahead. And if y'all don't know, the evergreen tree is what you call the Christmas tree today. Go ahead.
Which symbolize the springing forth unto new life.
Which symbolize what?
Which symbolize the springing
Wait,
forth.
Ma, you missed something. So she claimed a full-grown evergreen tree sprang overnight from a dead tree stump. That's what you missed. All right, go ahead where you was at. Now, who would believe that? Overnight, you know how tall evergreen trees get? And she said overnight that this tree grew from a stump. Go ahead, Zarab.
Same people believe that Santa Claus come to their house and give them some gifts.
Good night. Go ahead, sis.
Come down the chimney.
Hey, listen. What y'all don't understand, though, is all these different things have their own pagan roots. All of them is different gods and different stories from these different gods, and we're going to touch on it. Go ahead.
Which symbolize the springing forth unto new life of the dead Nimrod.
All right, so new life of the dead Nimrod, which means that he came back to life from the dead in this tree. Go ahead.
On each anniversary of his birth, she claimed Nimrod would visit the evergreen tree and leave gifts upon it.
And you got to leave gifts upon this tree. And if you didn't do it, they would scare you into thinking that this tree would kill you or do something bad to you. You understand? Because they said that this was that same bad man that was a mighty hunter. So if he was whooping your ass when he was alive, he really gonna do it now is what they were saying. Right. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
December 25th was the birthday of Nimrod.
Of who?
Of Nimrod.
Of Christ.
Of Nimrod.
It clearly says Nimrod. All right, you can look in the scriptures. It'll tell you Christ was born during the spring because they was out grazing the fields with the sheep. All right, go ahead.
This is the real origin of the Christmas tree.
That's where the Christmas tree came from. Let me see. Kodash, you have something? Let me hear, brother.
What's heavy about this is you can see the terrorism that Nimrod was causing all over the earth because just like that, the fake Israelites, what was that group that was petrified because that man was killing everybody?
I'm not sure, brother.
Yahweh ben Yahweh. Like people like that, these vicious murderers that kill people so much that the people would just believe anything.
Not right now. The water.
They wasn't to believe anything long as the person keep killing.
I wouldn't compare him to that brother because he was killing Edomites and he was demanding fingers from them. You know what I'm saying? But
Demanding fingers.
yeah, you gotta look it up, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a fake Israelite back in the day that would kill the oppressor and demand that his brothers bring back fingers or what have you to show that they did something disgusting. Somebody like this you want to compare to like General Butt Naked. Y'all know about General Butt Naked in Africa, right? So you want to think about something like that or Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that would take over the earth by any means. He didn't care who he killed, who he punished to get what he wanted. And you know, you got to put a lot of fear into somebody's heart for them to really worship a tree. So he must have been doing something on the earth, all right? So keep going for time's sake, because we got a lot to cover.
Traditionally, a Yule log was burned in the fireplace. On Christmas Eve and during the night as the log's embers died, there appeared in the room as if by magic a Christmas tree surrounded by gifts.
Anybody ever heard of Yule? Yule? Okay, so that's the Norse version of Christmas. What they call it, Yuletide or 12 days of Christmas and all that foolishness, that is the Norse gods or the, who is it, man? The Dutch in them or some stupid people who worship Odin. All right? Vikings, yeah, that's who it is. All right, so keep going.
Yule Lord represented the sun god.
The who?
Nimrod.
Okay, the sun god, which is Nimrod. Go ahead.
And the Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
Representing himself resurrected as his own son, Tammuz.
All right, so if you see the Christian cross in the church, that is really the T for Tammuz. And they've been carrying that cross forever. You can pull up whenever you need to pull it up. Way before Christ, it was Babylonians holding up a T. It's not a cross. That's a T for Tammuz. Go ahead.
After Armageddon, chapter 4.
Okay, so you don't got to read those parts because what they do in this article is they give you the sources of where they got this from, and that's so heavy. That's why we read out of it. Go ahead.
You're just saying the Yule log, the ancient Norse used to use the Yule log in their celebration of the return of the sun at winter solstice.
Yeah, that's what the brother just said.
And it said 12, they would feed the fire 12 days.
12 days of Christmas. All right, so you think about all the different songs. The songs let you know that it comes from ancient paganism. So what's the Santa Claus song? He know what you're doing. He know when you're sleeping, when you woke. He know if you bad or good. What the hell do that sound like? That sound like somebody that's trying to be God, right? And then the 12 days of Christmas and all that stuff is all goofiness. But we just reading about where it comes from. This is why we don't do paganism or nothing that the Bible doesn't say. Because it's all foolishness. It's stupid as hell. And you got to be like 3 years old to believe this stupid stuff.
Right.
So go ahead.
The real origin of Christmas. The real origin of Christmas goes back to ancient Babylon. It is bound up in the organized apostasy with which Satan has gripped a deceived world these many centuries. In Egypt, it was always believed that the son of Iris, Egyptian name for the Queen of Heaven, was born December 25th.
The son of Iris, which is Easter, Esteroth, or Ishtar, would be Tammuz. So they saying that he was born on December 25th. Go ahead.
Semiramis also bore the title Queen of Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And she was Nimrod's mother.
Go ahead.
Paganism celebrated this famous birthday over most of the known world for centuries before the birth of Christ.
Before the birth of Christ. So today they tell you that this is the birth of Christ, but they can't give you no proof of it because they don't read the Bible. But this is really the birth of Tammuz, Nimrod, and that's where this all comes from. Now, through time, because this is the first civilization, and it was so popular, the names just changed. You know what I'm saying? So you get Nimrod, Osiris, Ishtar, who else? Molech, Baal. Just keep going down all the way till you get to today. It was a Saturnalia, which we get from the Romans. What is it? Bacchus, the Feast of Bacchus was the Greeks. And today is Christmas. They kept changing the name, but it's still the same practice. And that's why you see these stupid colors, that dumb hat that Santa Claus wear. That goes back to the Molech and Chisholm. We're going to read about it all. Go ahead.
Christmas is a pagan holiday.
It's what?
It's a pagan holiday.
That's what Christmas is. It don't have nothing to do with Christ. Go ahead.
Traces back thousands of years before to a man named Nimrod.
And that's what we just read. Go ahead.
Founder of ancient pagan Babylon.
Skip down to Lenten, Easter.
Say that again, sir?
Skip down to the next paragraph.
We're talking about Easter?
Yeah.
The true origin of Christmas and other holidays.
who was really born on December 25th. Lent, Easter, and Christmas are of Babylonian origin. Easter and Christmas paganism 2000 BC to date.
Paganism 2000 BC to right now. Christmas, Easter, Lent don't have nothing to do with the Bible. None of it. But these are the days that our grandmothers took us to church, right? You might not have went to church no other day. But you was going on Christmas and you was going on Easter. And they got you a nice shiny suit. Most of them being pink. All right, keep going.
Come. Jesus Christ was not born on December 25th. But December 25th can be traced back to Genesis and a man named Nimrod. Nimrod was the founder of a great false religious system that began in ancient Babylon that has always opposed the truths of
That's
God.
always opposed the truth of the Most High. And that's why we read that in Genesis where it said he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. This is a history book. There's a number of facts in the Bible, man. And you can line it all up with every other encyclopedia and history book that's on the earth. All them nations will tell you the same thing that we read in the Bible. All right, so for time's sake, I need somebody to look up Catholic. What does the word Catholic mean? Today, these religions have become popular on the earth because of the Roman Catholic Church. From the Catholic Church comes the Christian Church and the Baptist Church and the Pentecostal and Jehovah's Witness. It all comes from the Catholic Church. What does Catholic mean? You can Google it. You got a library in your hand. Let me hear it.
The definition of Catholic out of Oxford Languages, including a wide variety of things, all embracing.
Good night. Who knew that? That's heavy. What does Catholic mean?
Including a wide variety of things.
That's what Catholic means. You think Catholic means they love God. Catholic means a wide variety of things. So, what is it? I think it's 380 AD when they made Christianity. They stopped Christianity from being outlawed because before, to serve the one true God, you get killed for that. Peter and Paul, I believe, both got killed in Rome. All right? And that was for teaching the Bible. That was for teaching the gospel. Teaching what Christ taught them. They got killed for that. So in 380 AD, they stopped it from being a crime, but they wanted everybody else to follow it. So how'd they do it? That's by keeping all the same traditions that they were keeping, because there's more heathens than it is Israelites, right? So they mixed all the same customs in with what you see today. So that's how Christmas still survived and Easter still survived, but they just changed the name. Catholic means what? Read it again.
Including a wide variety of things, all embracing.
All embracing. It never outlawed Christmas, Nimrod, Easter, Halloween, All Saints Eve, or Sam Hain, or Sam Howell, however you pronounce it. It didn't outlaw none of these things. It included them all. Is that it on that definition?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, let me see. Let me see. I got another one. So, all right. So, broad or wide-ranging in taste, interests, or the like, having sympathies with all, broad-minded, liberal. Let me see if I can find the websites. I can't find the website, but y'all get it. You know what I'm saying? That's what Catholic means. So when you say you're in the Roman Catholic Church, it's talking about they believe in everything. Don't go to the Catholic church or the Catholic school and think that you about to learn about God, because you're not. You're going to learn about Christmas and Easter and all this goofiness. And that's why it's so heavy today, because the Catholic Church has the most money out of all of them. Y'all can look it up. Who got the most money? It's the Catholic Church. Why you think they ain't never been brought up on charges for all the pedophilia they do? A priest get caught for molesting a kid and they move him to another zone. They don't lock him up. They just move him out the city. And he still do it somewhere else. That's the Catholic Church. So read the next article I gave you. I think I tagged y'all in that one. Yeah, but don't read that first. Read the story first. You gotta scroll down. So it's titled Baal or Molech. Scroll down. This one here is kind of heavy, man. Because a lot of people don't know about the red and all that stuff. Even myself. You know what I'm saying? This was new to me. So read that, brother. This is where Christmas come from. So we read about Nimrod, the originator of Christmas, and why you put a tree in your house. Salaki, we skipping something. Give me Jeremiah, the 10th chapter. So we just read about Nimrod in Genesis, and then we read about Nimrod becoming the tree, and I read about it in the Bible. So people won't just think I'm making this up. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 10:1.
Now Jeremiah was in the Babylonian captivity, towards the end of it, and or it was right before he was going into the Babylonian captivity. All right. So the Lord was going to tell Jeremiah what not to do. And that's what he did, you know, coming out of Egypt and everywhere else. He said, man, don't be like these people. Don't do what these people do, because they some strange niggas. So y'all don't do that. So go ahead.
Hear you the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
What did the Bible say?
Learn not the way of the heathen.
That's what the Bible said. Don't be like the heathens, man. Don't be like the oppressor. Be like the Caucasian or the East Indian. Like I said at the top of the class, you smoke weed and have dreadlocks because of the East Indian. A lot of people don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? They smoke weed to the god Shiva, and that god also had dreadlocks. There's an East Indian walking around that keep his hand raised like this. He kept it up there so long that his goddamn arm died. He can't even move it. And that was in dedication to that god. So some of this stupid stuff y'all ain't even gonna do. But the stuff that you think is cool, smoke weed because of the East Indians. And the Bible is saying don't be like the heathens. Go ahead.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
For what?
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
There was a group out of the Babylonians called the Chaldeans. And they would read the stars and be amazed by the stars. Today, what'd you call it? Go ahead.
Astrologists.
Horoscopes. What would you call it, right? And you'll get a brother or a sister that say, I can't be with you because you a Cancer and I'm a Sagittarius and we just don't get along, or some goofy stuff like that. All right, that's what they was doing. Don't read it again.
Slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. Go ahead.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
That's what stupid people do. They are dismayed with the signs of heaven. The star, like we used as slaves, we used the North Star to get to freedom. But we didn't try to say that that star was our God or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that the Lord put in the sky. So go ahead.
Verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain.
The customs of the people are vain. What's vain mean?
Nothing.
Yeah, go ahead.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe.
You cut that tree out the forest. The work of the hands of the workman with the axe. If you go in Wyoming right now, you're gonna see on the corner 50 evergreen trees tied up. You can go all over Detroit around this time. You're gonna see evergreen trees in the parking lot that would normally be empty. Cause that workman just cut those trees out of the forest. Go ahead.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
Mm-hmm.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
That it move not. Why? Because if you don't do this, what's the tree gonna do? Go ahead.
It's gonna fall down.
It's gonna fall. So today, what do we call this? Go ahead.
Stand it up.
No. What do we call when you? What does it say? They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. What is the thing that you put your tree in? Go ahead, sis.
Stand.
A Christmas tree stand. As a kid, I can remember screwing it in like a fool. Like, what the hell I'm doing this for? Stupid as hell. Go ahead.
They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
All right, so they deck it with silver and gold. Back in the day, we would actually put silver and gold on this tree. Why? Because we were scared to death of Nimrod that we just read about. All right. Today, we use dumbass, what they call
ornaments.
Yeah, Christmas tree ornaments. And what color are those ornaments?
Silver and gold.
And red for the blood of Nimrod. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not.
But what?
But speak not.
They don't speak. Why did the Bible have to say that these trees don't speak? Go ahead.
Because supremacists, she had put the fear in the people that.
That's why. Because during this time, we actually thought that the tree was going to come back and do something to us. So the Lord had to tell us, man, don't be scared of this tree. Don't be scared of the nigga that's coming to get and cutting this tree out the forest and doing all these things, because it don't speak. Go ahead.
They must needs be born.
They must needs be born. What does that mean? Go ahead.
You must be carried.
Anything that happens for this tree, you got to do it. You got to water that tree. A lot of people put that tree up in November and keep it up to the fall. And if you don't water that tree and take care to keep the tree, what's going to happen? It's going to die in your goddamn living room. Go ahead. That's another thing, man, about this damn dumb tree. A lot of y'all mothers, and even y'all yourself, because we all grown in here for the most part, y'all don't even want people to step on y'all carpet. And then y'all get this tree, and all the little evergreen leaves is falling everywhere, and it might catch on fire. So we don't have a problem with this tree messing up your living room, but if a nigga come in your house with no shoes on, y'all beefing. That is stupidity to me. But go ahead.
For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord.
Nah, go back to 5.
They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
All right, so that's the Christmas tree. You bow down to this tree. How do you do it? By putting presents under it today. You bow down, you get those presents, you worship this tree that goes all the way back over 4,000 years in the book of Jeremiah in the first civilization. All right, let me see. That's it with that. Go to where you at. Let me hear that. No, don't read that last. We're going to read history, and then we're going to show how the Bible backs up this history. All right, so as we just said, Nimrod is the reason for this tree. And the reason why we do things on December 25th is Nimrod's birthday. Through time and different civilizations, remember, the language got confounded in Babylon. So these same people just moved to different areas. But when they moved there, they carried this religion to those zones, to those areas, all right? So what we're reading about now is Molech, all right? Molech is the god of the Moabites and the Ammonites, which are who today? It was Moab and Ammon. Come on, young man, what you got? Nothing?
No.
Who is
Chinese,
Moab?
Japanese.
Say, there you go. The Chinese and the Japanese. All right, so go ahead. Go ahead, Zarok. Yeah, just scroll down. You're going to see the title. It's precepts on top of the story, though. So scroll down. What you got, Kudash? You got questions or something?
No.
Somebody else look on there. I tagged all three of y'all. See if y'all can see it. Yashman, Kudash. Click on there and see if you see it. Brother might be having trouble.
The picture.
What's that? A screenshot?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Leviticus 20.
Nah, I got you. Let me see. I just sent it separately.
So I got it right here. Cherry red Moloch and the Pygon cat.
Pygon cap. Let me see. Is that what it says? Pygon or Phrygian cap. That's what Santa Claus wear. That little funny hat, like the Smurfs. That's the same hat that they would wear back in Babylonian times, or in the times of Moloch. Also, the Catholic Church wears it today. See that stupid hat that the so-called priests wear? It's a dunce cap. Well, that's what that is. Like, it's just a dumb. What you wearing that for? That's not biblical. This is where they got it from. Like we just read, Catholic means embracing all, or universal, because they take in all walks of life and then portray it as its God. All right, so go ahead.
Although Tophet is a different high place than Solomon's Mount Olivet, they both were
Just skip down. Do you think?
Do you think that it's a mere coincidence that in Rome, Kamash, worshipped by Moabites, Mithra from Persia, worshipped in Rome, and Tammuz of Babylon, fame, wore the same Pygon cap as Santa Claus?
They're saying, do you think this is a coincidence that they all got the same outfit on? A lot of people just don't know that they all wore the same outfit because we not taught to read and go through history. And it's a reason for that. It's a reason why when they ask you where you come from, you only go back as far as slavery. That's it. Because if we really broke down their history, you will see how full of crap they are. You understand how much they're against God and how you are God's chosen people. So that's why they refuse to go back to slavery. Somebody on Facebook said, what they say, it's another slave movie? I get tired of these slave movies. If you could cut that heat off on me one more time, brother. In my opinion, though, I like slave movies because it reminds me that we're God's chosen people. Only God's chosen people was prophesied to keep going through slavery like that. You feel me? That's one of the signs that you would know that you are God's chosen people from those slave movies. And the oppressor is so stupid, he keeps reminding you, but then argues with you when you say you are a Jew. But nigga, you showing me that I'm the only person that ever went through this. So that's just my personal opinion. But they're saying, do you think it's a coincidence? No, it ain't no coincidence that all these people got the same outfit on. From all these different gods, all through history, like we said, they all the same people. Go ahead.
And Michael Ruse, like in the book, The pagan Christian connection exposed. Truth versus tradition. He expounds the Kamash was the pagan god of prosperity that was the same cast iron pot-bellied god of their king.
Alright, so Kamash was the pagan god of prosperity. And what is Santa Claus? Same thing, right? Don't you write down your toy list? You got something? Sound going in and out. How you looking, Kodash? Check it out. So your checklist and you wishing for what you want every Christmas, the kids and all that, that comes from this. It comes from the God of prosperity. So go ahead.
The Amorites, who was worshipped by the name of Molech or Moloch. At the time of the winter solstice, from the ancient calendar, they had a public child mass. Mass literally means sacrifice in this context. The priest stole the iron image of the enthroned Kamash with wood and burning pitch, which turned the idol into a cherry red furnace.
So they did what? They stoked the iron image. So basically, all right, so they made an image of Kamash, which was all metal or all iron, and they heated it up. They put wood in there and made it hot, all right, until it got so hot that it turned red. And that's why Santa Claus wears red today. All right, go ahead.
Moabite people made long lists of their desires and recited them to the God of prosperity just before they put their infant children into the red-hot lap of their God with his bygone cap.
The same thing you do today, all right? I think it's going to say it. You go to the mall, and then your baby sit on Santa's lap, and you happily take a picture with this pedophile. You giving your kids to this Moabite god called Kamash. All right, go ahead.
As the babies were
incinerated
during the December 25th child mass, the people were assured that their sacrifices would be rewarded in the coming year. Michael Wood was an
perspective. A month before the birthday of Tammuz, December 25th, we have our children make endless lists to a cherry red pot-bellied god of prosperity. And then we place our terrified children in the lap of this god who wears his Phygone cap and sits on his throne in the shopping malls.
Leviticus 20 and I think Leviticus 18.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 1. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Moloch, he shall surely be put to death.
And that's why you see so much death around this time, what you talked about earlier. You know what I'm saying? We could pull up articles and you'll see them all next week after Christmas is done. How many people get robbed, shot, and killed on Christmas? Because the Lord said that they should be put to death for celebrating Christmas. All right? There's another scripture too. We're going to get it after this. You shall have no God before me. But keep going.
Come. The people of the land shall stone him with stones.
They should do what?
Stone him with stones.
What does that mean? What does that mean? You kill somebody with stones? What's that talking about? Go ahead, Zara.
That's like a death penalty, somebody getting stoned to death.
How though? Think about it.
Getting bust upside their head.
That's brutal, man. It seemed nicer today to just get shot. If you celebrate Christmas back in the day, they would take you out in front of everybody, and then they would just hit you with rocks until you died. That's what it means to get stoned to death. They just keep busting you upside the head with rocks. You know how long that take?
Right.
Like, that's crazy. Keep going.
Come. And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man when he giveth of seed unto Moloch, and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man.
What's that talking about? Go ahead, Kudash.
You see somebody celebrating that ancient form of Christmas.
Christmas. Don't say ancient form, because it's all the same thing.
Yeah. You see somebody celebrating Christmas and you don't go kill them yourself.
Or say something.
Yeah, then the Lord gonna be on his way killing you.
That's why we be on the street corners. Giving them the business. You feel me? Because we ain't playing like that, and we know what the Bible says, man. There's one true God, and he's in control of everything. You thought you was doing bad because of luck, nigga, you're dumb. There's no such thing as luck. Luck is an ancient God as well. It's a God of luck. It's a God of prosperity. All these different things, man. There is one power that controls your life. And you doing bad because you sin against God. That's it. All right, keep going.
Come. And I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he hath given his seed unto Moloch.
Giving his seed unto Moloch. All right, so that's literally talking about putting your kids, a new infant or whatever kid you had, your firstborn, in the lap of this cast iron burning idol and letting them die, watching them die. The Lord said, if you give your seed into Moloch, man, he gonna put you to death. And whoever watched this happen, he gonna put you to death too. All right, so don't lie to your kids and tell them that this is Santa Claus and he gonna give you gifts and he gonna come down your chimney. It's not real. All right, Kodash, if you could look up what is his name? Santa Claus. Santa Claus. Put it on the screen. Santa Claus and Krampus. Let me hear that. Is that it on that?
And he also said to defile my sanctuary and to profane my holy name.
All right. Go ahead.
And if the people of the land do anyways hide their eyes from the man.
You can find that on YouTube, Bob. Go to YouTube. Santa Claus. Like with a C. Santa Claus and Krampus.
Santa Claus and what?
And Krampus.
Krampus.
Yeah. Like the sister got the cramps. Krampus. Salakia, y'all. There you go. Yeah, look that up. All right. Now, finish that. What you at, 4? And then we gonna watch this.
When he giveth of his seed unto Moloch and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that go a horn after him.
A horn?
To commit whoredom with Moloch from among their people. And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits and after wizards.
Where you at, 5?
6.
All right, drop that. All right, so basically it's just saying whoever worship Santa Claus, the Lord gonna put you to death. Right. Now, in this time they call it Santa Claus. Back then they call it Moloch or Molech and Chemosh, but it's all the same guy. It all comes from Nimrod. It was just changed through different people. The name changed, but the Catholic Church made it so that it would still be popular today. Now, if you go to Europe, they're not as silly as we are in America. They actually keep the real definition over here. So let's see that. This is Santa Claus Krampus. Now, today, you get the reindeer from this goat man, all right? So, Santa Claus would ride around with these goat men, and they would be beating on you. It's a video, if I could find it, I'll send it to you, where this big goat dude is taking a whip, and he hitting little kids upside the head with it. All right, so play that out if you could. This is where this comes from. They just changed it over here so they can get your money. Because they know if they showed you stuff like this, you would never do it. Come on, you just had it. I ain't trying to watch no 46-minute video.
No, I made a mistake.
It's lucky. Look at that big disgusting thing. That's your reindeer. Do that look like that's something jolly and nice? The Christmas devil is what they called it. Why you got that little baby bent over like that? That's not normal. That's not regular. You know what I'm saying? You see that whip in his hand? You see what he doing with the baby? You got the baby in the sack, right? That's what Santa Claus carried the sack from. And that's supposed to have been Santa Claus right there with the staff. Go ahead.
He had his tongue wrapped around this baby right here.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. His tongue is out in all of the videos.
Like his tongue.
Good night.
All the way out. Get the heck out of here. Wrapped all around this little girl right here.
He picking the baby up. Look at the one to the far right. He got the baby, got a red face.
Baby is an excruciating.
Today, you happily give your kids to Krampus. People lie to their babies and say Santa Claus is real. This is what he really about, though. Originally a pagan figure. Look at him. Look. What they doing? They look nasty with that face-to-face picture. Australia, Germany, Czech Republic. This is what they do with Santa Claus. Over here, y'all think it's about the kids.
So lucky, if I may.
Go ahead, brother.
This is the crazy part about this information you display. And white people is all around celebrating this. They know the history of Christmas.
Yeah, man. They know where it come from. We the slaves. We been lied to. They told us not to read, so we didn't do it. That's why you come in this school. We gonna do it for you. We gonna show you the history of everything, and then we're gonna show you your history, your culture, and your laws. Your God is way better than everything else you could ever do on this planet. Look at the little baby. She's scared to death. That little white baby. All right, so that's Krampus, man. Also, Saturnalia, man. Saturnalia. What else is it? Bacchus. Janus. You can jump in it. Janus too. We'll get Janus next week though, because it represents, the new year. So if y'all don't know, all the days of the week and all the months of the year, well, most of the months of the year are named after pagan gods. So January is named after the god Janus, which is the god of beginning and endings. And this god, so-called god, has two faces. And that's why the oppressor put the new year in January. But really, we all know the new year is in late March, early April. And that's the spring, of course, because that's when you see new life come to the earth. The flowers and the trees is growing. That's the new year according to the Bible. But the oppressor tells you it's Janus or January in the middle of the goddamn winter because of the god Janus. You had your hand raised, brother? Yashban?
Oh, yeah.
You want to see Odin? What time is it? Is it 9 o'clock? All right, it's for time's sake, we'll just break it down. Okay, so Odin is the same thing. So, Rock, you got something?
I was just gonna say on your point, sir,
All right, money man. Shim shop with that. The one.
as being, you know, the God from the beginning and how they put, you know what I'm saying, how the oppressor put that at the new year, you know what I'm saying, at the beginning, you know, in the middle of the dead of the winter.
Right.
And then wait all the way to April to call you a fool.
Yeah, Khan. That's where April Fools come from. April Fools come from us, the people that actually had common sense that knew it was the new year, and we would still keep the new year in April. They would play pranks on you and say April Fool and hit you with something. Nigga, hit me with something if you want to, because you know what I'm saying? The hell wrong with you? Because I know when the new year is, nigga. I ain't going for that, but you know, peer pressure is heavy today, and that's how they got all these traditions to be played out today from peer pressure and making you feel bad for being smart. That's why you get a lot of brothers today that go to school, man, they just want to dress nice. They don't want to be smart, though, because if they smart, you might get beat up. Where'd that come from? That come from April Fools and that whole, you know, mindset of, you know, America and not learning, all right? So, Odin, the brother asked about Odin. What is it? That's the Yuletide. So Yuletide and all that comes from Odin. Thor, y'all know they make Marvel movies about that today. They in your comic books. Hercules and Zeus, they also in your comic books. All this comes from Nimrod, all right? The names just changed through the years. Christmas is false, it's pagan. Christmas is the next version of Saturnalia. Hey, Shem Shem Kathar, glad to see you, brother. And with that, we're going to close out the class, man. If we miss any questions, we'll get them next week, because this was kind of like a long breakdown, all right? All right, Shalom, Israel. We're going to go over the Lord's Prayer. And what's the other prayer, Zerat? The curse prayer. You got that one? All right, well, let's just get the Lord's Prayer and the security announcements if we could, brother. The water. Clap it up for the Lord.
We're gonna face the east. Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Ayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakuka. Daba'ah. Ratazaka. Ayah. Ashah. Ba'arataza. Kawa. Ayah. Bashemayim. Nathalanawa. Lakam. Cal. Yawam. Wasalat Lanawa. Kabawap Nawa. Kasalak Nawa. Kabawap Yanawa. Wala'ah. Tabi'ah Nawa. Banasana 1. Abor. Awashah Nawa. Mayan. Ra. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Waha'ala. Wata'aparath. La'awalamyu. Aman. Gonna say the security announcements. Say it in English, huh? Oh, Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. All right. So, Salaki about that. ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, start out of 1 West, 125th Street out of Harlem, New York. Root for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. They need transportation. The teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3 and 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Up and coming holy convocation. We're in the feast of dedication right now. Most High in Christ to that. And also we got Passover coming up. It's going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina, April 1st. It's going down. Make sure you get your rooms booked, get your money saved, get your garments and your best fits and everything ready to go, because it's going to be glorious. All right, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headbands, and scarves. With that being said, I'd like to give a courtesy salute to the teacher, Men of Israel, Imajim, Majim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah, Yajmatah, Saw. We're going to give the sisters a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Imajim, Majim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Latah Ba'Hashem Yahushua. You just repeat after me. Say Yahweh Shemar Alatah Ba'Hashem Yahushua. Most High in Christ. Dismissed. Class dismissed. That means Yahweh in the name, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So it means Lord.